I didn't think the sight of those 5 black spires would do me so much good. They herald civilization once more. Despite Skornar's eagerness, I take the time to unload my shipment of salt, which the merchants of Devon snap up in no time at all. I also realize that we were but a step away from slaughtering one of my own beasts for food. I must be more careful with my provisions. The Hall of Trade used to house the offices of commerce, as well as various trade delegations and guild representatives. However, with the unionization and the aggressive push of the Carpenters Guild, it has degenerated into the headquarters of the Underworld Syndicate. It still has an air of authority, and many merchants in the city deal with them regularly, but corruption eats away at its marble halls. I make my way to the gates, where a clerk watched over by a couple of bouncers stops me.
Entry only on official business.
Since Skornar is no longer welcome by the Carpenters Guild, I will have to call a meeting of the capos for myself and smuggle him in so that he can say his piece. A meeting with the capos. I finish my sentence while shaking a well-filled coin purse. The meeting is set, and I arrive with Skornar at my side as my bodyguard. A hood pulled into his face, and a long cloak are sufficient to hide his true identity. Besides, he has not been to Devon for a long time. The two of us are ushered into a large, well-lit room, where several marble statues dedicated to the saints of the guild are displayed beneath crystal lamps. 6 capos of the Collegium are gathered here, already bickering about petty squabbles and imagined slights. But then the man sitting at the head of the huge table raises his hand, and the lords of crime fall silent. They all turn to me, and one of them addresses me.
You have our attention, so why have you summoned us here?
Before I can answer, a throwing axe flies across the room and smashes into the painted statue of Ovrea's chest with a loud thud. The capos stare at the weapons sticking out of the holy effigy, then draw daggers and cudgels angrily, shouting at the top of their lungs, turning toward us with murderous intent, only to fall silent again upon seeing the now hoodless Skornar glare at them. He does not even carry another axe.
Come on. What happened? Your courage seems to have vanished now that we are face to face, and you can't discard me with a wave of the hand. You left me in the dust, friends, after all the service and loyalty you got from me.
The capos just stare at him, or at their own feet, most of them clearly ashamed.
Arbo, have I not given you the harem during the raid on Dilathine?
The man sighs and nods. Skornar turns to a dark-haired woman.
Hessa, I got stabbed by a dragon steel spear to protect your hide from the Ratharnak who were hunting you.
The woman frowns, but cannot seem to rebuff him. None of them can. But then, a heavy-set man with golden rings on his fat fingers speaks.
What do you want us to say? You know how business works.
Oh, aye. But do you? Because I know for a fact that Falco is doing a shit job at running the old gang. Perhaps the smelters have not been complaining loud enough. Business is business, but you did all this backstabbing for fucking Falco.
Admittedly, he is not doing a better job. Quite the contrary.
He is also stealing from you, above what's customary.
A wave of confounded murmurs washes over the room, and soon turns into an angry argument. Skornar then names a few names and tells them exactly how Falco is skimming more than he should. This does not sit well with the capos at all.
Withdraw your protection from him. Allow me to take vengeance. Then I will tell you who to appoint.
You?
No, not me. Those times are over.
What follows is a lengthy argument between the lords of crime, with Skornar and me watching. But even at the outset, I can clearly see what their decision will be. When we leave the room an hour later, Skornar is grinning as he walks by my side.
That went well, my friend. I got my wish, and now the gods have granted me a chance to bring Falco down. I am grateful to you too, of course. Now I was told that I should contact the guild Iudex called Pernandius. He'll be the judge and overseer of this whacking. We can find him at Lavinus' watering hole in Scoria. He can tell us how to proceed.
In that case, let's head to Avernum. Devon is truly perfect for doing business. I managed to negotiate 4 contracts for Sunrock. I take the time to fill the rest of my cargo with mushroom beer, which I know will be greatly appreciated at my next destination. Waking to the sound of panicked shouting in the middle of the night is always a terrifying experience, but this one is especially nightmarish due to the guttural howls and snarls accompanying the cries of my cums. Through the cloth of the tent, I can see an odd assortment of dancing lights. Are things on fire? I leap out of my bedroll, grab a weapon, and stride out of the tent, trying to take account of the situation. What I see baffles me. My whole crew is in disarray as they try to stop a handful of wiry, leaping humanoids who jump about the camp, setting things on fire with their bare touch and attacking people. A tongue of flame barely misses my head, and I can see that it came from the direction of Nedir's camp. The sorceress is battling what looks like the majority of the creatures, casting her own fiery spells to repel them, with mild success. Yelling orders to my cums, I rush to her help. Nedir is clearly holding her own, but for how long, it is difficult to say. A larger demon seems to lead the pack, and it is now circling the sorceress, joined by several smaller fiends. These vile creatures are astonishingly fast, so much so that the beast manages to dodge one of Renkailon's 2 knives. Fire seems to do little against them, yet their razor-sharp claws slice through flesh with ease, and their breath burns all in its path. However, they are not fast enough to dodge one of Garrick's bullets. Deprived of their leader, the remaining 3 fall into disarray, and my companions manage to inflict grievous wounds upon them, striking down a second, and then a third, in quick succession. Cornered and disoriented, the last demon cannot evade Renkailon's blade, and is beheaded in a single stroke. Finally, the last of the demons is destroyed, its body burning up in flames and vanishing during its death throes, just like the rest before it. Only piles of fine grey ash remain behind after the nightmarish attack. Panting, I check on everyone. The Comitatus suffered no losses, but everyone is fairly shaken and bruised after the demonic pandemonium. Fires are put out and wounds attended to. Once my cums settle down and I make sure we are safe, my gaze meets that of Nedir, and I realize immediately that she was the cause of this.
I believe that I owe you an explanation.
She gestures toward her tent and steps inside. I follow, making it clear to the others that they are not to interfere. Once inside, I see her rubbing her temples, her gaze lowered to her feet.
I'm giving you a single chance to explain what just happened.
I am unsure. Well, I am sure that we were, or rather, I was, attacked by lesser demons. and I also suspect that it happened here because of a local tear in the barrier between realms. But I do not know why it happened.
Is this the first time it's happened?
No, not exactly. There were 2 other attacks, about a month apart each, but those were much less potent. 2 or 3 small fiends, nothing my spells of abjuration could not handle. But this is serious. And it also confirms that the attacks won't stop. If anything, they are going to get more and more devastating.
And what do you intend to do about it? Because let's be honest, having a ticking time bomb in my comitatus is hardly desirable.
I have to look into the matter, and fast. I have someone to turn to, a powerful sorcerer who lives in Avernum. You know him, since he's the one who sent you to me. I need to consult him. Would you be willing to visit the city? I realize that my presence has become somewhat of a risk for you, but perhaps we can work this out?
And what do I gain from this?
I've noticed that you desire the same thing as I do. Knowledge, understanding. And that is something I can offer you. Knowledge that those outside the Crimson Order can never access.
Be certain that I will hold you to your word, Nedir. I am capable of great generosity, but I will not hesitate to act if you fail to uphold your obligations. And I hope, for your sake, that your mentor has a solution.
That's the spirit. I appreciate your strength of mind, Vagrus, and I shall continue to serve in all matters sorceress, as per our contract, of course. Let us make our way quickly to the mage in Avernum. I do not know how frequent these attacks turn out to be, and I am sure that you wish to avoid unnecessary risks. And it's not like you can't change your mind and send me away, but I know you won't.
Her smile is less cruel than usual. I leave the tent, make sure the camp is safe, tend to the crew for a while, then return to my own bedroll.
We're not really keeping her, are we?
Yes, we are.
You can't seriously be considering this. You saw what just happened? What's to stop the next one from being something even more dangerous that she can't control?
It will happen again. Make no mistake, Finndurarth. We are seeking someone who knows how to deal with this kind of anomaly, and if there is no solution, I will end her contract. Until then, keep your opinions to yourself. Harvek, keep an eye on Nedir. If she were to lose control, kill her.
At your command, Vagrus.
I barely put my head down onto my pillow when shouting breaks out in the camp. Rushing out of my tent, I can see that the guards are pointing toward the east, where a large group of armed people can be seen charging in our direction.
Everyone grab your weapons. Take your positions. Move!
They're trying to surround us!
Let them try! Form up!
Something is off. The twilight hides the enemy's numbers, but even so, there seem to be too many of them. How could I not detect them before? Then my companions and I realize that about half of the attackers are illusory. They dissipate into white smoke upon touch. In spite of this, the trick could have won them the fight, as it confuses my combatants long enough to be killed or pushed back. With their stratagem exposed, organizing a defensive strategy proves far easier. Their men crash against my soldiers so fiercely that the retreat is sounded within mere minutes. I order that the fleeing enemy not be pursued, and that we focus instead on our wounded. Most of the real attackers lie slain or have fled into the night. It is now crystal clear that they were mostly interested in busting Lascar out of his cage and looting things in the process. My stalwart comes denied them that, however, and now I can rest and tend to the wounded. As I was about to set up camp, I spot a small altar by the roadside in honor of Irafon. It is a sign. I offer a brief prayer and decide that we will spend the night at the camp of Ash. Finndurarth becomes excited upon hearing that the time has come to locate Han, the slaver who allegedly works on occasion with the assassins I am looking for. After the sorceress places some bribes in the hands of the right people, I learn that Han's slave pens are at the edge of town, as much as Ash can be called a town, of course. Its remoteness of location might come in handy, depending on how I am planning to go about all this. We arrive a quarter of an hour later, and find that the pens occupy some ruins, half buried in the ash, supported by bone scaffolding. As I enter, I see no guards, nor too many slaves. In fact, only about half a dozen starving unfortunates are locked in cages made of Slarad ribs. I'm about to search the place more thoroughly when a scrawny man in badly fitting leather armor appears on the scaffolding.
What do you want? I ain't got no stock you can buy. Darius bought everything. So unless you want to order something, fuck off.
We are looking for mercenaries bearing a mark, an 8-legged horned lizard. We have good reason to believe that you know them, and you have a better reason to help us. We have silver to spare.
Off you fuck, I tell ya. Don't want nothing to do with you.
It just so happens that you're going to kindly answer our questions. Otherwise, my friend here will gladly slit your throat. Harvek heightens the threat by moving his insectoid arm, sharp as a razor. Upon learning what I would do to him should he not cooperate, Han is intimidated into being much more reticent. Finndurarth tells him to come down from the scaffolding, and he does so, now looking like a scared pup, albeit an ugly and stinking one.
Now, tell us what you know about these people with a tattoo like this.
All right. Called the Corneus Serpentis. They got a hidden place for themselves in the east. Near them, Dragonlance.
He looks furtively at Finndurarth.
Where exactly?
Southwest of Saloom. That's what I was told. Out a few days in the wasteland. But I'd not go there if I were ye. Their leader, Luto, is one tough son of a bitch. Cut your throat for looking at him sideways. Don't fuck with him.
We'll decide that for ourselves. Thank you.
I leave the Slava's pen and return to the Comitatus. Finndurarth believes that the only course of action now is to strike at the Corneus Serpentis base of operations, as they will not willingly give up their employer. Perfect. My intuition was right, and I make a modest profit selling my cargo of mushroom beer. Unfortunately, none of the contract offers for Avernum prove worthwhile. I will have to make do with a half-empty hold.